And really, folks, it's the only way that humankind will ever really grow and ever really evolve into what we should be and what we have the potential of becoming. And it's this self-responsibility and this self-autonomy and this freedom of the individual that has been so restricted within the parameters of our current system. And this has been done very much by design, folks. And as I said, this has taken a long time for us to get to the point that we are currently in. And the tools that humanity needs to empower themselves and to understand reality is one of the most important things that has been removed from human consciousness, removed from human knowledge. The way history was changed, and the biblical Roman version of reality was superimposed over it. And folks, the original Bible, before it was compiled by Constantine, was just a series of scrolls and random texts and books. It wasn't ever compiled into one volume. But when they compiled it into one volume, they left a lot of stuff out, and they made certain changes to the things that they put together. And you don't have to change very much, folks. You've only got to change a few words here and there and a couple of sentences and a couple of meanings here and there. And you change the entire context and you change the entire message and give people a completely different version of reality and a completely different perspective of reality than what was actually being taught by the great teachers that appear within the pages of the Bible. And as I've said before, folks, Christianism has so little to do with the actual teachings of Christ that it beggars belief that they've even called the religion Christian. Because modern Christianism in its current form is simply the Roman system. And this is regardless of whatever denomination you belong to. It all has its basis in the Roman system that was brought about by Constantine in around 325 or 365 AD. Because that's where the modern version of the Bible came from. So if you belong to a Christian denomination that uses a modern King James type version of the Bible, then what you are learning is the Roman system. And in fact, this goes for virtually any version of a modern Bible, folks. That's the thing. It isn't just the King James Bible. In fact, the only accurate version of the Bible that probably exists today would be something like the Dead Sea Scrolls, or perhaps the original texts which are very likely stored in the Vatican, from which the Bible in its current form was actually compiled. And it's important that people understand this and they put things in the right context, because I've met a great many Christians who can see the corruption that exists in every system that controls our society, but they refuse to believe that any such corruption could exist within the church and within the Bible that they are currently using. When in reality, folks, it seems very, very unlikely, extremely unlikely, and virtually impossible that a book that exercises as much influence over people as the Bible would have remained true to its actual message. And actually all you have to do is start examining this and start researching the texts, and you find that it hasn't remained in its true form, and that the message it delivers is not the message that was intended by the original texts. And really, folks, why people would think that the Bible is the only book that would have remained unscathed to the ravages of the Illuminati really is beyond me. I don't know how people could think such could be the case in any way at all. I mean, why would people ever think that this one book would have survived in its original form? And really it hasn't, folks. I mean, the original form of the Bible is in Hebrew, and each letter in Hebrew has like 7 different meanings, and so it's very much open to interpretation. And it's very easy to change one word or one letter even in the original Hebrew text to create an entirely different meaning. And you don't even really have to change a letter. You just have to mistranslate one letter, and suddenly you've got an entirely different book with an entirely different message. And I truly believe that anybody who actually honours the message of the Christ needs to investigate this. They really need to look into the validity of the texts and ask themselves if anything their church is doing contravenes or contradicts the teachings of Christ. Do the ministers in your church follow the teachings of Christ? Do they walk that path? Because it isn't just about revering this book and waiting for someone to come and save you. It's about actually walking the talk, folks. So if you're not walking the talk, and if your church and your priest is not walking the talk, then how on earth are they truly following the teachings of Christ? And the fact is, folks, that they're not. All they're doing is adhering to the Roman system of control that was put in place by Constantine and that used the original texts as a basis for that system. You see, there's so much truth in the Bible that it becomes incredibly easy to hide the lies that also exist within it. The easiest place to hide a lie, folks, is in the middle of a whole lot of truth.
I know that some people like to jump on the gun without understanding what's going on. When somebody is bringing them a new information or something that could expand their mind, is that they prefer, not all people of course, but some people are immature and they prefer to shoot the messenger than to analyze and research. Not very much people like researching, and researching the truth is a must in those very last days. And of course, I'm not going to cease reading the Bible, because there is a lot of good things I got from it. But on the other hand, what the people need to understand is that because there are people who are almost worshipping this Bible, as some Roman Catholics would be worshipping images, because the Holy Spirit is God, and the Holy Spirit is not limited to nation, is not limited to race, is not limited to religion, is not limited to sex, is not limited to anything that that the Illuminati wants to limit the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit is everywhere around the world. And the biggest gift you got from God is your soul, your heart, your conscience. This is among a lot of gifts that you got from the Creator of the universe. We're talking about your intelligence, your talents, your aptitudes, which are very important, but beyond, the most precious treasures that you got is your soul, your heart, your conscience. So those who are really not shutting down their hearts and are not shutting down their conscience, then the Holy Spirit can reach you, because you have a soul. I'm not implying here that those who are not listening to their hearts and their conscience are automatically soulless. But of course, when you continue to shut down your heart and your conscience, eventually, if you're not led by your inner being, something else is taking place. And this is when you're losing your soul. So back to the greatest gifts is our heart and conscience. And this testifies to you that you have a soul, because you have a heart and a conscience, which is distinguishing you from the animals. And I don't mean disrespect to the animals here. I know they have a spirit. There's a difference between spirit and soul. The animals do have emotions, and that's why I know that they have a spirit. They really do. They really are beings. Not things, but beings. And we, the people who are listening to their heart and conscience, are human beings. And so where I'm going with this is that, again, God is not the creator of the universe. I don't want to give him a name because humanity is divided over the name. Okay, so I'm calling him the creator of the universe. The creator of the universe can reach anybody. Doesn't matter your religion, your sex, how much money you have or you don't have, your color of skin, your color of eyes, anything. Because you have a soul, the Holy Spirit can reach you. Now, the way he reaches you, I already made videos about it, so I'm not going in that because it would make a longer video. It's already made. If you're interested to know how the Holy Spirit, how the creator of the universe is communicating with you, I have videos about it. But the reason why I bring that is because, you know, people say that they call him God. God is a title. People say that God talks to you through the Bible. Well, the Bible, as we know it, was put together. It wasn't there since forever, you know. Before the printing was invented, then people had to write by hand, and so. But the Holy Spirit was there. When Jesus Christ left, when he was resurrected from the death, he told us that he would not leave us orphans, but he would give his Holy Spirit, who is all over the planet. And so, before the Bible was put together, before even the printing was invented, the Holy Spirit was reaching people already via their soul. For those who have a heart and a conscience. Because unfortunately, and especially the elite, they shut their heart down and their conscience down. But for a lot of people, their heart and conscience is working. And so this is very important, because the Holy Spirit can reach a Muslim, can reach somebody who is Roman Catholic, who is a child, who is older, who is black, who is white. Does not matter. And being myself a translator, I know that what this man said about the Bible is the truth, that it had been tampered with to some extent. I'm not saying that you should not read the Bible. I'm saying that you need to be open to the leading of the Holy Spirit in your life, because when you need to repair your car, you don't go in the Bible to find out how to repair your car. And when there are many things in this life that we are not going in the Bible to find how to do things, And so I'm not saying throw off that book. I'm just saying that the Holy Spirit was reaching people before the Bible was put together, and is still reaching people with or without the Bible. And as long as you have a working heart and a working conscience, He can reach you. So I will leave it there, and I know it will reach the right people, as well as other people who are not exactly nice, but that's what's going on the planet right now. Thanks for listening.